am the Lord Nelson, that is. Quite shocking.
This is Danielle Weber, and you're listening to Live and Loud with the Lord Nelson, that is.
Yes. Perfect.
I nailed it. Even Alessandra's like, yeah, you did.
I can't resist the high of have you been total bliss. You feel that you can't go on. That's what you unless it's just an illusion. And the world around is crumbling down. But darling, every day the sun comes up around her, she can make a bird sing harmony. Every drop of rain is glad they found her. Heaven must have made her just for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, lovers of sound and seekers of greatness, welcome back to Live and Loud with the Lord, hosted by none other than the big guy with the big show. Yeah, the Lord Nelson, that is. You already know what I do, man. This is a supreme gathering of voices, stories, and sonic brilliance brought to you by the CMS Network and 5 Royals ENT. So now today, family, we've got a true musical heavyweight gracing the mic, a man whose voice has traveled across decades, genres, and generations, with the soul of a classic and the energy of now. Yeah. Whether you know him from the Persuasions, the Drifters, Shadows of the 60s, or his powerful solo work, this brother is the embodiment of vocal mastery and artistic legacy. He's performed on stages around the world, shared space with legends, and he continues to elevate the game with every note he delivers. Yes, indeed. So turn your speakers all the way up and lock in, because the Lord is beyond honored to welcome a phenomenal artist, a brilliant storyteller, and a living piece of music history. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get live and loud with the one and only Mr. Dave Revels. What's going on, young man?
I don't know if I can live up to all that legacy right now.
Hey, man, that's all you. What are you talking about? It's all you. That's nothing made up. That's you.
You know, I just had to say that I'm just grateful to still be doing something I love all these years, you know.
Of course.
It's been
no doubt
5 decades since I started this journey, so it's pretty cool to still be doing it.
Well, listen, welcome. Thank you so much. Just so appreciative to have you here. I really am honored, young man. So my first question, as usual with everybody, is where are you from?
Well, I live in New York now, but I'm originally from Europe. I actually came from England.
Right.
But my family's got all kind of legacy, you know, American, British, Jamaican. So I'm a little bit of all those things. I sometimes call myself a gem Englishman.
Well, I saw that when, I was doing a little research and seeing that, seeing that like England and stuff like that. I've been there also. I've traveled there too, with my band back in the day. And listen, just wonderful times, man. So
yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. And then, of course, what's the best thing about being from, say you're in New York now, but what do you remember about like the Jamaican part of you and the English part of you? What was the best thing about those things over in London and England?
Well, the best part of England was going back there as an artist. I went back for Brian Eno. Mm-hmm. Did a show a number of years ago with the Persuasions with Reggie Watts. And if you know Reggie Watts.
Yeah.
Beatbox man, you know, part comic, part storyteller himself. and Naturally Seven. Remember that group?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so it's a concert with Reggie Watts, Naturally Seven, and the Persuasions. So going back as an artist was a thrill because, you know, you don't always get back to go back to where you originate from doing something you do as an adult. But my most vivid memory is Jamaica. You know, as a kid running around barefoot, you know, eating fruits from the trees.
Right.
Knew how to find natural medicine when I got sick. You know, I knew which herbs to grab as a kid and chew on it or whatever I had to do. So those things I vividly remember because my real formative years were spent in Jamaica because my mother being Jamaican, she exposed me to her family. And I spent years as a kid. So my real foundational essence came from Jamaica.
Awesome. Yeah, and I can,
you know,
once again, just doing my research and reading up and looking at things and seeing your mom's picture. Such a beautiful woman, man. You know?
Oh, man, she was incredible. You know, I still miss that lady today, you know?
Yeah.
But she gave me a lot.
Yeah, it just kind of got to me too. Made me think about my mom, same situation.
Yeah.
You know, so I understood it, you know. Yeah, so people always speak about the Jamaican culinary aspect of the island, right? So what is your favorite Jamaican dish?
Oh gosh, man, I got to take it back to my mother. I was at 12 years old. I was all eating my mother's cooking.
Right.
At 12, so one day I was sitting at the dining table and I had an epiphany. I said, "Holy crap! What if I marry a woman who can't cook?" So I started watching the way she cooked, studying the way she cooked.
Yes.
And as a teenager, whenever I dated girls, I would cook for them.
Right.
So, you know, I got to their heart before anything else, you know.
Chef Dave is what we got.
Yeah. So, you know, I learned the essence of Jamaican cooking to the point that now I can cook anything. I have 4 burners in the stove cooking seafood in one, fish and, goat on the other, oxtail in the other, you know, vegetables in the other. So I really learned, you know, and spicy cooking, you know, neutral cooking, whatever it is. So yeah, man, I really took the essence of Jamaica in as far as that is concerned. And my mother, great cook, and to the point that, but I got lucky. I married somebody who could really cook well too.
Awesome.
And she's Jamaican. She's Jamaican Chinese. So,
okay.
You know, so we got a little bit of everything going on.
Awesome. Indeed. Well, before music called you to the dance, what other things was a young Dave Revels into?
Oh man. Oh gosh. You know, it's hard to imagine my life without music because as a kid, I always hummed a song. You know, when I lived in Jamaica as a kid, before I even hit the double digits in my years, Jamaica always played music from the States.
Of course.
So I was listening to things from a guy named Andy Williams to the classic rock and roll stuff. I mean, when I was like 7 years old, I started singing Moon River, wider than a mile, crossing you in style someday. Yeah. You know, so I started singing stuff like that. And so music, it's hard to say it was never in my life. It's hard to think of any other calling I had. Music was always present in my life, you know. It drew me as a child. So I think I've always been musical, man.
Music's always just been there, indeed.
Yeah.
So now, how would your family describe you as a teenager? Were you as cool as you are right now? Because I'm gonna tell you what, you're real cool. You know, I like to say I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? But there's something about you that you got a aura of coolness about you. So how would they describe you as a youngster?
Fun loving. You know, I always had a sense of humor.
Yeah.
You know, I like to joke. You know, my family knows me. If I'm not joking with somebody, I don't like them. You know, so that's usually a good thing. They can tell when somebody's either on the positive or plus side of my nature.
Right.
I was always fun loving, you know, and I don't know. I always took to people. I was always a people person.
Yeah.
You know, and so they always had me for that. So, but having a sense of humor was always what they looked at me as. I like to joke.
Well, Well,
You
I'm
know,
gonna tell you, we're kindred spirits, man. Because you're saying I knew this was gonna be special, man. Because I get the same thing all the time. You know, it really, and I believe in that. I believe in laughing and having a good time and seeing people. Because I'll do certain things and ask certain questions to see what kind of vibe we're going to get from people. Because I'm a people person also. You know, my wife always tells me that all the time. She's just like, you just man, old man.
well, you want to tell you something, man. One of the things I do, like, you know, I when I hire people to work with me, the giving is a skill. The skill has to be there. But the reason why I hire them is character, sense of humor.
Right.
Like when I'm interviewing somebody, I joke first. You know, and you can tell a lot about people by how to react to a joke.
Yes.
You know, and because you have to have a sense of humor when you're working with people, because oftentimes that's what makes the relationship remain on the level. You know, that you have to be able to kid about yourself a little bit. You know, you can't be too serious all the time. You know, life is. I tell people life is like this. So you can't go through life being too serious. Yeah, you got to take care of business, but you can have fun at the same time with business. So that's a lot of ways I deal with people. I like to laugh. You know, laughter feels good. I see you like to laughing seems to be a natural order of your business. You laugh a lot, you know. So it's good. You know, that's a healthy way to be.
100%. I love it. I love to laugh. That's a beautiful thing. It really is. Now, Jamaican music, England, all kinds of things. And like you were saying, Andy Williams, and you start singing Moon River and stuff. I'm just like, I love music. I really do. And music is a time machine to me. It just takes you all kinds of places. It's just one of the greatest things in the world, if not the greatest thing in the world. But what was the main genre of music that reigned in your household as a youth?
Again, it was multi-dimensional, because you gotta remember something about Jamaicans. They absorb all kind of music.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, for me, it was just my mom as a kid, she had this big Magnavox stereo. You know, back then they had it's like a furniture piece. The thing was like maybe,
I know exactly what you're talking about. My parents
6 feet long, 3.5 feet high, 2 feet wide, and had a turntable.
That's right.
So you know, I always had records, and I always played records. You know, I mean, I've put it this way, man. I mean, I've worked in calypso. I've worked with reggae artists. You know, I've written that kind of genre, reggae song, calypso song, that kind of thing. I work with a name. You ever heard of a guy named Mighty Sparrow?
Mighty Sparrow, yeah.
I recorded with him many years. You know, I did a lot of some of his records back in the day, and did live shows, you know, as well.
Awesome.
You know, and I never got to work with him, but I met Bob Marley. I was a newspaper reporter. I was a kid newspaper reporter, teenager, and I co-interviewed Bob Marley in New York at the Essex House when he came to New York.
Wow.
Around the time when he was ailing, when he got sick. I didn't know then, but he was coming in there for a test, you know. But I know I digressed a bit, but I'm just saying that it was not just one genre of music. I just like music. I like great melodies, you know. I like great lyrics. So I'd listen to any kind of music. Jamaicans love country music. So I listen to country music too. You know, so so it's
good. I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. You got me excited about it, because I always tell people I'm a military kid. You know, my father's in the military for 20 plus years, over almost close to 30 years. And we were around everything. I listen to everything just like you. I love music, and I sing everything. I record all kinds of different music. I can't help it. It's just in me. And so when I hear another person speak about music like that, once again, I'm just excited about it. It makes me feel
branch
good.
of service
I know I'm not a lunatic.
What branch of service was your dad in?
He was in the Army.
Yeah, my dad was Air Force.
Yeah. He was in the Army.
My father was Air Force.
Well, you know, salute to both of them. You know, we're military kids, and so, you know, I just respect that always. I really do.
My daughter is Air Force now.
You said your daughter's she's in the military?
One of my girls is in the Air Force, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, salute to her. Yes, indeed. Now, is anyone else in your family blessed with musical talents?
My daughter, one of my girls, a brilliant songwriter, never singing off key. Mm-hmm. I'll probably share it with you. She wrote a song when she was 10. Mm-hmm. And I took her to the studio for the first time, and this child knew how to remove one headpiece from one ear as she was recording to hear a real tone along the recording tone at 10. And she was more professional than many people I brought in the studio, but guess what? She has no interest in pursuing it.
Wow.
And I'm going to send you one of her songs, a song she wrote.
Please do.
Interestingly enough, there was this gentleman who was mentoring this 12-year-old baseball phenom from Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. And the kid missed his dad, and the kid wrote a letter to his father, and he shared the letter with me. And he asked to write a song. And I said, you know what, let me give it to my daughter. She was like 10. Right. I said, you're 10, you know it's like you love your dad, right? He said, yeah, I love your dad. I said, why don't you write it? She took the lyrics and wrote this beautiful song. Awesome. That was never released. I think it was one of the greatest songs I've ever heard. Right. And I'm going to share it with you. I'll send it to you. Yeah, please. And it was never released because she didn't want to pursue the arts. So I didn't push her, because I believe never push your children to do anything. That's right. Because you don't want to have your children live your legacy. You know, man. You got to let them live their legacy, because when you're gone, they're trying to relive it. They're trying to maintain a dream that was never there. So
goosebumps, young man. Goosebumps. Because listen, I have 3 children. I have a older daughter, Nakia, and then I have Jade and Julian, my twins. It's a boy and a girl. And I didn't want to name my son. I didn't want to name him Junior. I wanted him to just be who he is. And of course, it's the DNA that's there. We're going to get a lot of stuff from our parents and things like that. But I just wanted him to be who he is. I wanted him to live his life and not have to worry about who I am. And you're saying so many things that I'm just so in tune with, man. I thank you for it, because I'm telling you, I got goosebumps when you said it, because I know I write and I do things, and he does it well also. But he played basketball. He played a little pro ball overseas, and he wanted to do it. But this thing that we do is not the easiest thing in the world. There's levels to it. You're on a higher level way more than I am. But we traveled the world and done things. But it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of energy, and not everybody's built for it. So I understand it clearly. Yeah,
well, in general, man, I feel that one thing I will tell my children, I know you told yours, is that find out what you love.
Yes.
And once you lock it in, monetize it if you can.
Yes.
This way, you're going to work many hours at it, but it won't feel like work.
That's right.
I mean, you've heard it said many times in the past, but it's true. If you really feel called to something, you're going to find new innovative ways to do it that maybe somebody else hadn't done it. That's so right. You'll be contributing versus following the breadcrumbs somebody else put down,
Indeed. 100%. You're so correct on that. So when did you know that music was the career that you really wanted?
High school, freshman year. I was kind of laid back, shy, And there was a glee club audition for a solo. And I went. And I still remember the song. Are you ready, my brother? Are you ready for your journey? Do you want to see your Jesus? I'm waiting for the chariot because I'm ready to go. And I sang the solo.
Right.
And I got the solo. I got and other kids who are like-minded in music, I guess they heard me and they started gravitating towards me. And before I knew it, I'm forming my first group. And which interesting turned out to be a cappella, because at the same time, the guys I hooked up with lived on the same block with one of the members of the Persuasions.
Right.
When I was a teenager, when I was a youngin', and he taught me harmony.
Wow.
Yeah, at 14, I learned what harmony was, because I remember we took our group to him and we sang, and he said, "That's nice, guys, but where's the harmony?"
Right.
And we went, "Huh? What's that?" So he took all his record collection, Moon Glow, G Glow, B Glow, all them glow groups, and started schooling me. So, and for some reason, I was a control freak early. You know, I had to form the group. I had to teach the group. I had to, you know, it started like that because I think I was always the kind of guy that I wanted to drive the bus.
Got you.
You know, so it started early high school years, and it just kept going. You know,
right. Blossomed.
And I also love the stage in the sense of I love entertaining people, man, and I love seeing people smile. You know, and I paid attention to people on the stage. I wouldn't just close my eyes and sing.
Right.
And you know, it was never about me. It was always about the people. You know, I like to feel their energy.
Yes.
So it was always about administering, you know, bringing in joy. And I never took the audience for granted. I never once took a stage. One time I did, where I took a stage thinking it was all about me and I got my butt handed to me. We did a show in Harlem.
Right.
And don't do shows in Harlem if you're not ready to do it. And they had a local group went on before us and blew us up.
Wow.
And we went up there and I thought it was all about me. And I got on the stage and I learned it was not about me.
Wow.
It was about the people. So I learned early, don't ever take an audience for granted.
100%.
You know, you got to be sensitive to everybody in front of you.
There's no doubt.
So that's when it started. That's when music started for me.
Indeed, that's beautifully said. And just like you were saying, man, it's an energy transference from you to them and them back to you. And and when they're into it and singing the songs with you, there's just nothing better. So I always ask the question. I usually ask it a little later, but I ask the question about what do you enjoy more, producing or performing? But I think that you enjoy performing from what you just said.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny. I came to recording later in years. I never thought of it. It was never an objective.
Right.
I was a live entertainer. You know, I got hooked in that juice early. That completing that circuit between me and the audience, you know, and letting that circuit just go in a circle. And it wasn't until later years that I decided, you know what, I was always dabbling in writing, or working on somebody else's project, but I never really thought of my own pursuing it as a recording career. But then I just started realizing, you know what, why not?
Yes.
And then I started putting that aspect to it.
Got you. Well, let me ask you this though. So, what is it about music and singing that excites you like nothing else? Yeah, I'm trying to dig into your mind. I want it all.
What excites me is just what I said. It's that rush, that energy from the audience, the sound they make. There's a sound that an audience makes when they're really into what you're doing.
Yes.
They'll give you their assessment quick.
Right.
And they will know when you're there for them or when you're there for yourself. There's no guessing about that. So I always felt it's important to reach the audience, to get into their spirit, you know, to scan the room in front of me and pick out faces.
Right.
And have what I call conversations. You know, I tell people, to me, there's no such thing as me going to somebody's theater. You know, in a moment I'm on stage, that's my room.
Right.
It's my living room.
Yes.
You come to my house.
Right.
So I don't care what room I'm in. When I'm on that stage, the people are in my house. So I'm there to make it. It's like if I have a party, what do? You mingle, you talk to different people.
Yeah.
You're always aware of every conversation. You can stop on the conversation, talk to another person, and go right back to it. So to me, a theater, any room I play is like my living room, because I'm going to treat you like if you're a guest.
Awesome.
And so that's what I like about it. The essence of communication, constantly listening to the audience. And it's hard to say audience, constantly listen to people. Let's say people. Think about audience. They're not an audience, they're people.
Right.
You know, there's a collection of people in the room. So our audience to me is too broad a statement. So I call it talking to people.
Indeed.
So
that's love.
Everybody gets a personal touch, because even the guy way in the balcony, I'm focusing up there.
Right.
I have a thing called the face of a clock. Like when the theater is dark, I can't see the balcony.
Right.
But I can't imagine the face of a clock. 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Right.
And there's people in that section.
Right.
So I'm looking into that data. So I'm looking at number 2. I'm looking at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm looking at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And I'm really looking in that zone for the people I know are there.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to them just like I talk to the front row. You know what I mean?
100%.
So
No,
I don't know if
I love that. I love that. And it's something that I always say. I always say that we are there and we're performing and they're watching us. But
oh yeah.
But it's like I always say they're not in the we're not in the moment. We are the moment and they become a part of our moment and we become one together. And that's that energy.
Well said.
And that's how I look at it, because I feel like everybody's a part of me in there. And I want them all to have that love, and I want to show love and receive that love. I want it reciprocated. So I hear you clearly, man. That's beautiful. Thank you for that. I really wanted to ask that question indeed. So now you're a young man who had the opportunity to sing with some icons. Can you give us the backstory on how this came to be?
All right. Well, so I've always been performing, and I did a favor for an artist. And her name is Deborah Malone, or Debbie Malone. And she couldn't do a show, and she asked me, could I do a show for her at that venue? And I said, yeah, sure. So as a thank you, she gave me 2 audition opportunities. One was for the road tour of The Wiz as the Tin Man.
Really?
And the other was an audition for the Drifters.
Wow.
I'd done a show the night before, so I was too tired to get up for the Tin Man audition. But the Drifters audition was like 12 o'clock.
Right.
I made that one.
Okay.
And they put me through the paces, the dancing, the harmony singing. Thanks to the Persuasions that taught me harmony. I wasn't worried about that stuff, and I've been doing it for a long time. And at the end of the audition, they said to me, all right, do you own a tuxedo? And I went, yeah. I said, okay, meet us at 5:30 at 125th Street and 2nd Avenue. We have a show tonight. That's how I joined the Drifters.
Wow.
I auditioned the same day. They asked me if I had a tuxedo. I met them uptown, 125th Street and 2nd Avenue with my tuxedo, load me in the van. And on the way up there, I'm listening to the Drifters songs, which I hadn't even really known.
Right.
To prepare for the show. And then having to perform a show in front of this audience who were like 3 feet away from me, who knew every word from the Drifters songs. And I'm just learning them. But I had to smile, had to dance, and I had to sing. And at the same time, be personable. So I was thrown into the deep end of the pool the first day. And from the Drifters, I call that entering the greatest rock and roll college of all times. Because with the Drifters, I toured the world, and I worked with every iconic name from that genre, from Bo Diddley, Chubby Checker, Chuck Berry, Jerry Lee Lewis, the Platters, the Coasters, D. Clark, who did "Hey Little Girl in a High School Sweater," raindrops, so many raindrops falling from my eye.
Wow.
Little Anthony Imperials.
Yes.
Rock and roll icons, Del Shannon, Leslie Gore. The Temptations, the Spinners, the Four Tops.
Yes.
Martha Reeves and the Vandellas.
Wow.
And all came from being a member of the Drifters.
Yes.
So I always give that group credit.
What a blessing. What a definite blessing. And I just want to say, I remember my parents listening to these incredible bands and how the music still resonates, with me today. It still does. And so, man, listen, you just ran through all of that, man. It just got me excited about it because I am very visual. I see things so much. And so I see every single one of those bands and people that you just spoke about. And it's
Benny
exciting
King.
To me.
Benny King.
Benny King.
Benny King taught me a lesson, because I used to ask all these guys questions, you understand? Dick Clark, I toured with Dick Clark, Wolfman Jack, and all these people. I always ask questions of everybody, What would you advise you to give a young writer? What would you advise you to give this? And Benny King told me, he says, don't follow nobody. Don't copy nobody's style. Write from your heart. And if one of your songs gets attention and people like one of your songs, your entire catalog will be fresh to them and they want to hear it. And I used to watch all these people perform, and the greatest thing I learned, man, was that not one of them copied the other.
Right.
You know, and the same person they were backstage laughing and joking and playing cards with me, they waved by to me, see, guy, and they walked to the curtain of the same guy waving at the audience.
Right.
Or girl. They weren't faking nothing, man. They weren't making up no funny persona.
Right.
So I learned to be myself and to be accepted for me. If you're gonna like me, you're gonna have to like me. I'm not gonna create no weird character that I can't sustain anyway.
Right.
And the lesson in that is, if you create a phony persona, if that phony persona takes off, you're doomed to have to live that phony for the rest of your life. So I learned to be me. And so when I walk through a curtain, I'm not making nothing up. I'm just greeting people in my living room. You know what I mean?
Listen, I love it.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
that's
the
the
thing
vibe.
about me doing this. I was doing a podcast with my son, and we were having fun. And I've always had certain people I know like, why don't do this, don't do that. I was like, I just want to be me. And so when I did Live and Loud with the Lord, I'm like, I'm going to be me. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to do things. I want people to know how excited I am to do this, how excited I am to have you on this show. And I want you to understand this enthusiasm. And I hope you understand how authentic it is, because it is authentic. I just enjoy it, and I enjoy people. So when you said that, once again, I hear you clearly. It's still me. It inspires me still to just continue to do what I'm doing. So thank you for that. And all the people listening, when you see this, you better listen, do the same thing. You know, hear those words, you know, really. Now, this music here, which is so iconic, so legendary as yourself, what is it about this music and the time frame that makes it so special?
You mean all those songs, all those groups and people I knew?
Yes.
There were everyday stories, man. You know, they were relatable because people have to find things to identify with. The greatest, most popular things you ever seen, witnessed, heard, you feel a part of you in it.
Right.
So you can identify with it. And it's being delivered in such a honest, deliberate way at you that you get the message. So all these songs that you ever loved, there's a piece of you in the song. You can find a little bit of you in it.
Yes.
And it's not a contrivance. It's actually stories, life stories, little vignettes, you know?
Yes.
And that's what makes it unique, is that you can put on any of those songs and it's a story, you know? It's about a man and a woman, a boy and a girl, or a family relationship, you know, Jay's family reunion, you know, Brandy talking about his dog, you know, I love you, Brandy.
Yes, sir.
You know? All of this stuff, and it's because it's everyday life.
Yes.
And they just put it to a melody that sticks in your ear like a nursery rhyme.
Right.
I call them adult nursery rhymes. All these songs. You know?
I love that.
You know, it's like it's just that. It's not. Again, it's the same principle as being alive and entertaining. You're not contriving some fanciful thing. You're just talking about life. You know, right, or singing about it.
Yes, sir. And then you said melody, man. Melody is so important to me. No matter when
melody and lyric.
Yeah. Melody no matter when my bandmate sends me something and I'm listening to that music, and I do some rock and roll stuff, some heavy metal stuff, and I've also done some rap stuff. I've done a lot of stuff, and it's just like I always have to start off with that melody, no matter what music it is. Mm-hmm. I've got to start off with that melody. I'm gonna hum do like that. I can't help it. As my wife says, like, do you not think about anything else other than music? I'm always singing stuff. I'm always singing people's names. You know, I can't help it. It's just in me. It's just what it is. And you know, I love it. So I can get off me. Get back to the center of attention here. You just got me real excited, man. You really don't know how this is amazing to me. So you're creating amazing music as a solo artist also. So how has the experience differed from performing in a group for you?
Because I'm telling my stories.
Yes.
I'm not retelling someone else's story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling mine. So the principle of honesty comes into play.
Right.
Which when I'm going to write about something, it's an honest emotion. It's either my story or somebody's story I overheard, or just something I've seen in passing. So the journey for me goes not because I'm trying to write something to impress anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something is burning out of me that has to come out.
Right.
It's a thought, a feeling, an emotion. So when I'm doing it, I keep doing it until I said exactly what it is I wanted to say. And once I feel I've gotten to the point where I said exactly what I wanted to say, then okay, it's ready to go. Awesome. And once it's out, I don't worry too much about whether people like it or not, because the simple fact is, how many times have somebody listened to your music and they have a whole different take on what the lyric meant to them, and that's not what you.
Right.
It isn't what you imagine it to you when you wrote it, but it is understand that it's like that old thing that say, you ever been in an exercise where you have a lot of people in a wide circle, and the first person whisper a message in that person's ear, and they whisper the message to the next person next to them. Mm-hmm. By the time it gets all the way back around to you, it's a whole different story that you didn't write. So I've learned not to be possessive about my music, because once it's out, I can't tell you how to feel about it.
Yeah, great.
I can't tell you what to take from it. And when people say they like it, I'm like, it's kind of like, oh wow, thanks.
Yes,
okay, cool. Because I can't tell you how to feel about music. I can't tell you to love my music or accept it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a vulnerability that all artists face, where you have to allow yourself to be that vulnerable.
Yes, indeed.
To release your music and not worry about somebody criticizing it, because people are going to have opinions.
That's right.
Professional opinions and everyday opinions, right?
No doubt.
So for me, the writing was always about something I had to say, man. Something that was burning out of me that I had to talk about.
No, that's I'm telling you're giving so many gems here. I'm just thankful and grateful for this opportunity to really chop it up with you. So how have you managed to keep your voice, style, and creativity fresh in an ever-changing music industry?
Grace of God, and not abusing my gift. I like my Cabernet. I like the occasional cocktail, but I don't stay up all end of hours of night after the show. Believe it or not, I go home.
Right.
I was never a guy to burn down the club till sun up,
mm-hmm.
and then try to get up and do it again.
Right.
And my wife and people joke at me because I don't talk very loud. They have to leave. What did you say? Because I never spoke loud. I sing, I project.
Right.
But talking for me was never something I need to scream at anybody. Matter of fact, I don't like when people scream at me. So that kind of a thing. I try to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
But for the main part is just don't abuse yourself. Don't do things to destroy. This is tissue.
Right.
It's not a guitar or a drum
mm-hmm.
that you can beat, into submission.
Right.
The voice is, you abuse it and it'll tell you right away.
Yes, indeed.
Like I try to space out my performances so I'm not doing shows back to back, night after night.
Right.
Because I think, and you hear the tale, Darius Rucker just had to stop performing for a little bit because he strained his vocal cords.
Right.
In the middle of the show, he had to stop. Because it's that popularity thing. When you get popular, it's the temptation to book shows night after night after night after night.
Sir.
If you're a guitarist, a drummer, a horn player, you can get away with that.
Right.
But if you're a singer who puts everything into every note, not because you're trying it, but because it's just the way you express it. You got to rest these things.
100.
So
100%.
I try to space out my shows at least 2 days apart.
Yes, sir.
So that, and if I fly, I don't fly day of show. I fly a day or 2 days ahead of time.
Right.
And so that my voice can readjust, because a plane is pressurized, I think, at 5,000 feet altitude.
Yes, sir.
So it constricts your vocal cords, and your ears, and all that stuff gets wacky.
Right.
So I try to give myself at least 24 hours to readjust to being back on the ground. I get up that morning, I don't raise my voice. And the first time I vocalize is sound check. And then, preparing for show, I hum a little bit. And then I'm ready for show.
Yeah,
I don't know if that answered, but that's part of it.
Yes, sir. You said Darius Rucker, and he's from South Carolina. I'm from South Carolina, from Charleston, actually. And he used to I live in Columbia, well, outside of Columbia now, but he used to work in this place where we used to buy records called Sounds Familiar on Park Lane Road. And we go in there, it's like, hey man, Darius, pop this open. This is before he was, Darius Rucker of Hootie and the Blowfish. But just remembering him being in there and just shout out to him and seeing his rise to greatness.
Yeah.
And but when you're saying that, I can think about, I was with a band called Stuck Mojo, and here I remember Rich saying we were going to Europe, and he was just like, hey, listen, this is going to be, he said, your voice is kind of like a Ferrari. Even though I'm rapping and stuff, is rap metal, he's like, your voice is like a Ferrari. He said, you got to take care of it. It's not a dump truck. It's more like a Ferrari. And I'm not a singer like you or anything like that. But he said, I'm just telling you. And, Chuck D from Public Enemy, I kind of like, would do like him. I was inspired a lot by him. But when we got out there, I didn't really understand it. He said, you got to stop talking to everybody. Because I want to, I'm a people person. And we went out there for like, a straight month, day after day after day, just like you were saying. And oh my gosh, my voice was so hoarse. And I was just like, I couldn't believe it. He said, I was worried about you. He said, I was really worried about you being able to do this, all that. But I learned a few things from a few tour managers from the bands we were touring with. I would take like a shot glass and squeeze like a lemon in there, and then put some salt in there, and then I gargle with it before the show and after the show. And I had taken all this other stuff with me to coat my throat, and I'm sure you've had it all and know all of it. But that salt and that lemon, it worked so well for me that it got me through that tour. It really did. And I thank Joey, superstar Joey Severance, who was a tour manager for the other band, but he helped me get through that. But it was difficult. So when you say that, I really understand it. So I don't run my mouth as much as I used to, because as you can see, I love to run my mouth, but I love to listen also.
Oh yeah, like if I'm in a room and a lot of people talking and yelling, I tend to be the quietest one in that room.
Right.
Because that energy too, can drain you.
Yes.
So I tend not to like a lot of loud noise and vocalizing around me. So I kind of get quiet a little bit, let them do the talking.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But it's just being mindful, like I said, don't scream at the top of your lungs, things like that. Right. Little stuff. Yeah. Self-preservation,
Yeah, the older I've gotten, the more I understand that so much more clear. Clearly, I really do. I really do. So what has been the most challenging part of being a musician for you?
Most challenging part? Well, I tend to, it's kind of hard to say. I'll start by talking about the good things that lessen the challenge, which is surrounding myself with positive people, positive energy, because things are going to come at you, Right. Personality is going to come at you that can upset you, that kind of thing. But, challenging. I don't know. I don't really, it's like I'm in my water, so I don't really find it overly challenging to me. Awesome. The challenge is basically, particularly now, is having your voice rise above the ocean of voices to be seen or heard. Because the challenge wasn't there early in the career because the avenues to the public were narrow. You know, few people controlled it. You know, you could be heard if got a radio interview. You know what, it's going to reach a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, there's so much out there.
Yes.
That people flip through musicians and music like they flip through their scrolling their TikTok.
That's right.
You know, so how long do they stop to really listen to someone and take in what they're saying and what they're doing? That's probably somewhat of the challenge, where it's finding people being able to sit still long enough to really listen to something new.
Yes, indeed.
I find that most of the challenge. I don't know if that's where this question you thought it would go.
No, I'm glad you said it. I agree.
Yes. Yeah, so that's why I have placed my orbit around live performings, because I know when I perform my music in front of a live audience, they see me, they hear me,
mm-hmm.
They get to know the origin of the sound or the idea,
right?
And they'll listen to me. I mean, I've had people come up to me and then talk to me. Hey, that lyric, that line you said, that song you sang, that really touched me. You know, yes. Why don't people hear this more? You know, this got to be out there. People should need to hear this more. and that's reassuring, and that's the energy that gets me going and keep going and doing more.
Yes, sir.
When you make that personal touch with people. So that would be the challenge. Okay. More so today, where it's like if I give you a banquet every single morning and every single afternoon and every single night, how long is it going to take you before you get bored with the banquet?
I got you.
You're going to start picking over it, and you're not really focusing on your taste buds can't focus on anything long enough for you to really savor it.
Right.
And I don't know if I'm making sense with that.
No, you're making perfect sense. Listen, believe me, everything you're saying is so amazing to me right now. I'm enjoying this very, very much so. I thank you. Listen, you have no idea. I really do. Now, you've toured all over the world. Do you have a most memorable moment? I know you've done a lot of things, but is there one that just really stands out? You know, and it could be anything in your life, whatever it is.
All right, I got one. I'll tell you right away.
Okay.
In 1985, it was a Wednesday. It drizzled that afternoon, and what I noticed, because my first child was born on that morning, and that was the same day that with the Drifters we filmed Motown Returns to the Apollo Theater in NBC special. Susan DePass produced it.
Yes.
And I'm on stage with my idols, the Four Tops, who I learned how to sing listening to Levi's voice as a kid. Wow. I wear the record out. I listened to all the background vocals, everybody's voice, and sing along. I listened to the bass, the drums, everything. I was just picking the songs apart. Never realized I was going to my first school of music, because listen to how Levi entered a phrase and exited a phrase, not realizing that technically, but I was learning how to phrasing. I was learning how to take a breath and leave room for the music to breathe, not singing over a guitar solo or a horn part. And here I am meeting my idols for the first time and being in the same room with them backstage and listening to their laughter and them talking to me and ask me, was it a boy or girl? You know, and then get on that stage and do the Battle of the Bands or the Temptations, the Four Tops, and Manhattan, and the Cadillacs. And I'm the smile on my face as they're singing with them and doing the finale together. And I'm smiling not just because I'm around my idols, but because I was a dad for the first time. So I'm a fresh dad. I'm performing around my idols. I'm meeting the people I adored all my life. That was the greatest fundamental moment of my career, because all that things happened. I became a dad for the first time.
Yeah.
Doing a profession and calling a profession something I love doing it. Being surrounded by people that I used to read about only and play their records and sing along to. Yeah, you say that moment stands above everything else I've done. Not everything else was important, but that one, because of the fundamental change in my life in that moment.
Man, listen, young man, You got me, man. I was just trying to tell you, man. You got me, man. Beyond what you got. Listen, it's all love. It really is. So your music is complemented beautifully with lyrical passion, soul, and storytelling. So do personal experiences influence your songwriting?
Yes. It has to be. If I ask you that same question, your first word would be yes. Some songs are very personal. There's a song called Happy to Be, which, it talks about me personally. Everything about me is the way it's supposed to be. Would not change 1 hour trying to change so you'll see me.
Right.
Because I'm older, prouder now of the way I stand my ground. I'm just happy to be where I am in a place meant for me.
Yes.
That's personal.
Yes.
And there's songs where I witness somebody's life and I write about it. Like this guy who was a co-writer of mine, he was going through a real horrible breakup and he was acting like it didn't bother him. And it bothered me so much seeing him doing that. On the way home, I wrote the song called 100,000 Million Reasons, which is no matter how many reasons, it took you 100,000 million reasons to fall in love with somebody. It should take you that many reasons before you say goodbye.
Wow.
So that's what that song is about. So yeah, some of them are other people's life stories, some are mine, and some are world stories, things I see happen in the world that disturb me that I have to talk about.
Yeah.
Or have to comment about, things like that.
Oh my goodness, man. It's amazing that so many things that you're saying is they're resonating with me so much. And anyway, I'm gonna move on because I'm just telling you, just I want to thank you, and even with that, because I'm so much like you in so many ways, and it's just love. I'm sorry.
So we need to write a song together.
Yeah. Listen, I there's so many things that you say that, and I look at other people's lives and I look at mine, and my wife will ask me that sometimes. She was like, well, why are you writing about this? Are you writing about this woman? Are you doing this or whatever? I'm just like, I just see life. I just see so many things. And I was like, sometimes I'm talking about you, but I'm not going to say it's you. I'm just, right. It's just a woman. It's just the things I do. So anyway, you got to me on that one. I want to tell you got to me on that one. So now, I got you. Listen, I have 1,000 questions for you. I'm not gonna keep you so much longer.
I'm fine.
I can keep going on, but tell me about Hands in Love and how did this song come to be, and why is the message of this song so important? Because it is.
Well, I've traveled a lot, and I've learned because I've been around people from different cultures, and I realized that we're all connected with one basic thing: we're human beings.
Right.
Regardless of your language, your color, religion, yes. Anything. And I feel that the overstimulation that we are having in this world, we're exposed to so much that everything becomes a noise, a white noise.
Right.
And I feel that we're losing touch with our humanity, our ability to empathize with someone else other than ourselves, or our immediate family. We don't realize that. And what gets me is that if I'm driving down a highway and there are like hundreds of cars around me, I'm aware, really, really strongly aware that in every car, there's a whole world of experience going on. These people are going through a whole myriad of emotions and situations just like me. And why would I roll my window down and give somebody a finger? Why would I wish ill on somebody? Because we're all go through the same things. But I felt that we're letting so many things distract us from our sameness as human beings that I had to write a song, Hands in Love, to say to people, it's time. What the hell are we waiting for?
Right.
It's time to raise your hand in love to somebody. Listen to somebody else's pain other than your own. Like I said, take a look around you. The world is bleeding. Too many words of hate, that's just not worth repeating.
Yes.
Simple word. Why can't we live together? Yes. Surely this can be done. Take a look around you. There's somebody grieving. A simple word from you just might start the healing. Yes. It always makes a difference when together we stand as one. So I write these words because it's burning out of me the need for us to just stop everything. Stop everything. And it's, I mean, look at social media. You put up a post about love, and it guarantees there's going to be somebody that's going to make a stupid, sarcastic comment.
Right.
That's thoughtless.
Yes.
Or I was looking at a TikTok reel, I guess it was. Somebody filmed a section of downtown Miami, and there were a lot of black young men and women dressing the way they do, because the way young people dress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or doing what young people do. And they're out for the evening, and people make a comment like, "I can imagine the smell. I can imagine they don't have jobs." Oh, that's right, they're out all night because they don't have jobs. And all these insensitive things based on you looking at a people's color and how they dress and the time of night they're out. They don't know the context. Each of those person walking around may have been abused by somebody, beating on them, and they decide to go out tonight because they're trying to center themselves and just smile instead of cry. So all these things I'm saying is that we're becoming desensitized to the point that it's like a pinpricks, it's like we're pinpricking each other. With words or actions. And I just said enough is enough. Somebody's got to say that we need to be different. So that's and this message was burning out of me, to the point that I just had to express it musically. And again, like I said, where it's going to go and how it's going to reach people's ears, I can't tell you how to take from it, but I knew that I had to say it. It's like you had to say something to somebody. You got to say it. So I had to say it. That's all.
Young man, once again, it's like it's like signs to me. And I'll tell people, I'm an emotional person. I know that I'm where they say an empath. I know I'm that. And you have said so many things within this from this last question I just asked. You said so many things that are so in line with how I think. And when you said the thing about driving in the car, I always tell people that. I tell my wife that all the time. Everybody's got a story that you're passing and looking and whatever. So when you're saying that, I'm just like, man, God just dropped this young man. He's like, bam, It's like this is going to be for other people, but this is also, I feel like, for me. It's really for me. So I thank you once again. That was amazing to me. I just want you to know that was amazing to me. I got so much from it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that part right there. That was deep to me. It really, really was. Now, I can go. Listen, I'll frequency hop, so forgive me, please. But this is great. But so I want to ask you about, like, behind me, Shadows of the 60s. What does this collective mean to you, and why is it necessary? And let me say that you all are covering these classics phenomenally. It's beautiful. It sounds so good to the ear. The sonic's amazing.
Well, I learned how to sing because of the Four Tops.
Yes.
And I'm a fan first of all music.
Right.
And not disparaging anyone, because I wouldn't, because I remember speaking to Duke before he passed away. I had a pleasure of speaking with him because he had spoken to me because he knew what I was doing. I was doing a tribute to the Four Tops. I started doing the Four Tops tribute because I like to hear every note the way it was done, because I studied it. So when I hear a song after he passed, the singers, they got to take his position, not place, but position. Right. Nobody take Levi Stubbs' place.
Right.
They didn't even try to sing the songs like him. And because I'm a fan, I wanted to hear the songs like that. So I started singing them, and I put together a tribute to Four Tops when he died, and it took off.
Yes.
Because I realized something about when you're doing a tribute. Every note matters, every guitar lick, every drum roll, every bass line, because they're all part of people's memories.
Right.
One person out there could be listening for one note that was sung.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go and not do that note or that run, that vocal run, or the rhythmic run,
yes,
you just rob them of their memory.
Right.
And that memory is, because they met the girl they met, the guy they met.
Yes.
What happened in high school, and everything is tied to that particular lick in a song.
Right.
When you do your music and your fans come to hear you, they know a run that you do, and if you're not doing that run, somebody's gonna ask you, what happened to that run, man?
Yeah.
So you can never outdo the original masters, but you can pay tribute to them and emulate them. So that's what that was for me. So everybody I handpicked for those groups, the Temptation group that we do, the Supreme Girls of Motown, they were picked. The given again is they have to have the talent.
Right.
But what I looked for was their personality, how much they love that music too. And then the third most important thing is how much they want to give everything to an audience. That was all about the audience for them, not about themselves. That every note they sang, every movement they made was all about the people, all about the audience. So that's what that came about. So to me, all Shadow 60s for me is a shared fan appreciation night, where we're singing on stage, but we're just like everybody sitting in the audience. So we're all celebrating music at the same time, and people can sense that. Again, I go back to what I said, where an audience can tell when you're play acting.
Yes.
And it can tell when you tell when you genuinely feel about something.
Yes, sir.
And to me, all art is about demonstrating how much you feel something.
100%.
How much this moment means to you.
Yes.
And how much you want to share it. So it's that kind of a love. And that's what Shadow 60s is. We're laughing on the stage. If you look at some of the footage, we're laughing with each other, we're smiling at each other.
Yes, sir.
Because we're genuinely just we're having fun, man. It's not work. It really is. It's not showing off. It's none of that stuff. It's paying tribute to everything, down from the costumes. Like I tell people, when you go to a show, because you're at foot level, the first thing you see is the artist's footwear.
Mm-hmm.
And then you work your way all the way up. And you're like doing little internal check-offs. Oh, nice shoes.
Yeah, right.
Nice pants. Nice jacket. Nice this. Nice smile. Nice everything.
Right.
And if anything is out of place, you go, huh? What's that? And when we do shows, I play not to the people in the front row. I play to the guy all the way in the balcony, because they will pick out every mistake you make.
Right.
Because they can see it. From a distance, you can see when somebody's arm isn't right, when somebody's energy isn't right. But when you're close up, you don't pick up on that, because they're right in front of you.
Right.
But the further back you are, you're basically absorbing energy from the stage. And you can sense the genuine energy. The further back you are, you can sense the genuine nature of energy. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
It makes perfect sense.
But I'm talking about as a fan first. When I go to a show, I'm picking up the energy. The further back I am, I have to rely on the energy I'm seeing.
Right.
So I'm watching how everybody in the stage is moving, and I could tell when somebody's walking through something.
Indeed.
Versus somebody whose every being essence is about the moment of what they're doing.
Right.
So that's what Shadow 60s is. We're giving people an immersive experience in an era of music that they grew up with.
Yes, sir. And
so that's what Shadow 60s is.
Yeah, yeah. And as I said before, that's that time machine. You spoke it. You said it so eloquently, so beautifully. That person that is listening to that music is taking them back to them.
Yep.
And if you can take somebody back to that, and that's how I am. Just like when I was listening to you, you were singing before a top song, "Reach Out," and I'm just listening to it. All I could think about was my mom and dad just listening to that music. And I'm young and I'm there and I'm just like, this is amazing. It's amazing. So that's what it took. It time machined me. So I was like, I appreciate it. So I get it. I really, really get it, man. I really do. You're one of those human beings, man. You're one of the great human beings. We need more people like you in this world. There's no doubt. We really do. So what do you think is missing in today's music, if anything?
It's hard to say. It's part of it is not fair for me to say it, because every generation is going to reflect what they're into.
True.
Variety of music maybe is missing, and subject matter may be missing. But that's, again, it's not really fair, because some hip hop rap music, they speak about a myriad of things.
Right.
So they're still doing it. It's just that that's how today's ears pick up on a message.
Yes, sir.
Hip hop or rap.
Right.
My generation was about the melody, being sung to you and stuff like that, or played to you. This is a different generation.
Yes,
their motivation is different. Their energy is different. And everything they're doing is because the older generation laid it out for them to be comfortable to do it like that.
Right.
This generation has a lot of confidence. Some of it may need to be go a little deeper and not take things for granted, as some do.
Right.
But I think they're stepping out a lot more confidence than the older generation of kids used to do.
Gotcha.
So I got to give it to them. It's different, man. And there are plenty of music out there for those who want to hear melody and lyric.
Right.
And those young people gravitate towards that too.
Yes.
So there's many people that gravitate toward the energy of whether it be rock, hard rock, whether it be, music you do and things like that. You're speaking to your like-minded audience.
Yes. Yeah.
That's how they take in information.
That's right.
So it's hard for me to even say what's missing because everybody's doing what fulfills their heart, Well, so as one artist or another, I can't tell you you're missing something.
Now let me go ahead and tell you something. That was to me the perfect way to handle that. You said that, because sometimes like me, my kids, they're like, well, Dad, I always tell my children, well, let me listen to everything. They might want to skip a track here and there. I was like, no, I want to listen to the entire thing because that's who I am. I love music like that. So I said, now I don't agree with everything. Everything doesn't resonate with me or I'm like, but I still want to listen to it because I might find something in there that I love. And the thing is that I'm sure that you've done the same. I've listened to music and to see my children, sing certain things. I was just like, okay, they were listening. I used to play dance hall and reggae music like crazy. I was really into it big time. And my son was just like, when we go on trips now, I still have my playlist now. My son was like, Dad, you used to kill me with all that reggae music you used to play. But now we listen to stuff, they sing it, they feel it, they understand it. My daughters, they're the same way. They're like, they'll call me. They're like, Dad, I'm at this show right here because two of them live in Atlanta, and they're like, I'm at this show right here, and this is playing. Remember, Dad? I was just like, yeah. So that means something to me. That the way my wife and I we brought them up to be more open to things, and they got it.
Right.
So yeah, that's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So now, are there any collaborations or musical moments that far exceed most in your incredible career? Have you done something with somebody that's just beyond?
Yeah, like for instance, you know the group Bare Naked Ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I met them at Lou Reed's memorial service because Kevin Hearn used to be MD for Lou Reed.
Lou Reed,
And the Persuasions were invited to the Apollo Theater with Paul Simon, Patti Smith, and all these other artists to pay homage to Lou Reed.
Yeah.
And I met him backstage, and I started joking about the sweater. I said, that's a nice sweater. What size is it? And I said, if it's ever missing, you see me wearing something just like it. It's just coincidence.
Right.
And we started laughing, like I always do with people. And he called me up. I gave my number. He called me up and said, hey, listen, we're coming to Central Park to perform with the Persuasions. Like to join us. I said, sure. I would say yes before I say no. Right. So he sent me a couple of songs, and we learned the songs, and we went down to Central Park. We sang on stage with them. The audience loved the chemistry. And he says, hey, listen, in December, we're going to be doing a school for the Beverly School in Toronto. It's a school for special needs. Would you like to join us? And maybe we'll record a couple songs. So they kept sending me songs, and I kept listening to them. And they sent me 30 songs, and I studied with the Persuasions. We got to 15 of them.
Wow.
And I reimagined the background vocals of all their music. And then we went to Canada at the NOLA Studios. And in less than 24 hours, we recorded 15 songs.
Wow.
Live off the floor, no overdubs.
Wow.
And because I believe in rehearsing and preparations, so I reimagine the vocals of the backgrounds of all their songs, a lot of their music. And so that stood out because I didn't care who they were before. I don't care what they did before, because when I'm going to collaborate, whatever you've done is the past.
Yes.
Is what we're going to create in a moment together. So
right.
I'm no important than you. My past is no more important than your past. It's what we're going to, the song is the glory.
Yes.
It's all about what we're going to record now, what we're going to work on. And so it's not about what you have done or I've done. It's all about this. It's an amazing experience. So that's what we did together. Oh. And so that was one of an amazing collaboration. And another one was Yorma Kalkinen from Jefferson Airplane. I used to teach at this ranch called Furpees Ranch. I taught vocals there. All these other artists from different genres would teach lay people about music. And I wrote a song based on the sound of his guitar styles. He has a finger picking style. It's world renowned. And I wrote a song called Birds and Sleeping Dogs. And he came to New York and we went into the studio. We did 2 takes. We never rehearsed the song. We just sat down and talked about the song. And I went through a couple parts and then we did 2 takes and it was done. Wow. So those 2 moments, and the people like that, like Yorma from Jefferson Airplane, they don't waste time in the studio much. You know, they come, they're ready. It's all about the music, man. It's not about ego. Again, what he's a world famous Hall of Famer. Doesn't matter. We're creating something together. And the mistress in the room is the music. Wow. And gets all the devotion, not what I did, what he did. It was all about the creative idea. Yeah. So those stood out to me. That collaboration stood out to me.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw you did something with Steven Van Zandt also.
Yeah, that was fun. Same year, 2017. We walked in, he had the music. We sat down in the outer room. He strummed the part a little bit. We walked into the control room. We recorded several songs with him, and it was done. There was no let's prepare for a month to do it.
Right.
You know, you walk in a room, you walk in with your ears wide open, your mind wide open, and you soak it all in, and then you bring it back out. You bring something out from it. That's all it is.
It's amazing. Just truly amazing. But listen, I have just a few more questions, and I can add on to them. But I listen. This is just so awesome to me. So, what is your definition of success?
Living a life where you're doing what you truly want to do, being where you want to be when you want to be,
right,
and being surrounded by people that you really want in your company.
Awesome.
That's success. And having the love of your family, having a handful of friends that will move heaven and earth to be with you or to help you and never forget you. That's success.
Beautiful.
I didn't mention money, none of those things, because that's the given in the equation. Right. Those are things I consider success.
100% beautiful. Well,
and I'm supposed to be going to rehearsal soon too. And my wife is in the background saying, "But you gotta go to rehearsal."
Okay. Listen, we're almost finished. I can't help it. Okay, listen. So who is Dave Revels beyond the music?
A family man, a husband, a friend. That's who I am behind. Those are the things that stay with me every single moment of my life. When I leave the stage, that's gone in that moment. But my family is always there.
Yes.
My friends are always there. And that's who I am. I'm a friend and I'm a family man.
Awesome.
That's who I am.
Awesome.
Nothing else matters. This life we live, the next breath is not promised. I'm sharing with you something now, and you're sharing something now. I call it lifetime. Every breath I spend with you is a lifetime. I could expire in the next breath.
Yes.
And you're giving me your lifetime now, just talking to me. This is time you'll never get back.
Right.
And vice versa. So, yeah.
Well, listen, I'm going to get this last question. This is going to be the last question.
Well, we need to do a part 2 and a part 3.
Listen. You'll be welcome to come back. I don't care what you want to talk about. You want to talk about the ocean or whatever.
We ought to write a song together. That's what we ought to do.
Don't listen. You guys said don't threaten me with a good time. I'm wide open. All you have to do is say it. I'm there. So what can we expect from Dave Revels for the remainder of 2025?
Writing new music, recording, releasing it, and then going out to perform it. Because I feel that a song is not really live. It's not completed until you present it live. Because the audience get to put the final punctuation on a song by their reaction. So that's what I'm doing. My next song up, I'm going in the studio next week to record it along the line of these songs I'm doing now, which is basically celebrating life.
Indeed.
And little stories about life and observations of life. So that's what I'm doing now for the rest of this year, is completing that album. I haven't got a title for it yet, but each song there's one song called Celebrate the Change in You.
Right.
It talks about change is the one thing we cannot avoid.
Yes.
And we have a tendency to be fear it because it means doing something different that we haven't done before. So I'm saying to people, celebrate change because something great might come from change. Something always comes from change, but you control whether it's going to be a good or bad experience by how you embrace it. So I write songs like that talk about those things. So yeah, I'm excited about the rest of this year is finishing the album.
And you should be excited about that song because I listened to that song and I enjoy that song and I love the lyrics of that song. And I was going to tell you that, so I'm glad you mentioned it. And it's all beautiful to me. So last thing, the floor is yours. Please let my watchers and listeners know where they can indulge fully in your greatness.
You can find me on YouTube. Just type in my name, Dave Revels, with a V, R-E-V like Victor, E-L-S like Sam. I'm all over YouTube. I'm on Facebook, of course, Instagram. You can find me there. Just look for me. Go to shadowsofthe60s.com if you want to see our Motown show. You can see where we're traveling across the country. And DaveRevels.com has some of my music, but you can also go to something called bandzoogle.com. You ever heard of that?
Yes, I'm on there.
My name, Bandzoogle, and then there's a collection of my songs and stories about me and things people say about me and things I say about things and lyrics of, my music and video and audio. So you can check me out on those levels. And I'm on all the streaming platforms. Please support independent artists because we don't have the bankroll of a major label, nor do I want it. But find me that way and discover my music as you should all independent artists, because independent artists do it for the love, unvarnished, uncensored, and it's not manufactured, it's real. So check out independent artists because they're telling you something sincerely. So embrace it.
Awesome. So I just like to say what an incredible conversation, ladies and gentlemen, with the legendary Dave Revels. I'm
not legendary, man. That's me.
Voice and journey continues to inspire. Big salute to Mr. Revels for sharing his story and his soul with us, and his wife allowing him this extra time for me to just do my thing. And this has been another amazing episode of Live and Loud with the Lord, hosted by the big guy with the big show, of course, the Lord Nelson, that is.
All right,
by the CMS Network and 5 Royals ENT. Thank you all for taking the time to spend some time. And until next time, stay loud, stay legendary, just like Dave, and always leading with love and forward with faith. Thank you so much, Mr. Dave Revels. Yeah.
God bless you, brother. Take care, man. All right, bye.
Believe that love will never end. And like the river finds the sea, I was lost, now I'm free. And I believe in you. And I wanna see some hands in love.
This is Matt Acevedo with Plastic Catastrophe with Lord Nelson, and you are watching Live and Loud with the Lord on the CMS Network.
Turn it up. You're listening to Live and Loud with the Lord Nelson, that is.